Hey there, this is Dr. Ron Lavelle again, and I'm glad to have you join me because I have a really good message for you. Warrior mentality. How do you get it? Let's go. Let's talk about how to make that happen. You know, most people get into life and they start figuring out down the road of peace that you're going to be in a few battles before it's all done, right? And it's just part of the game. It's what is kind of like most people don't want to happen, but it's something you're definitely going to have to face. There are battles. I remember when I was young, I was going to elementary school. I think I was in fifth grade or fourth grade or something like that. And I was the kid who wanted to dress up and wanted to ask and answer questions when I was in school. And I guess I was a little bit of a kind of a nerd, but the other kids from down at the avenue, down at the block, didn't like me, and they were always harassing me. And then it got worse. I found out that it could get worse, and it got to the place where they would be waiting for me after school and terrorize me. And then it got past terrorizing to beating me up. And every day, it seemed like it was their mission to make my life miserable because I wanted to make something out of myself. And so I'd come home and my lip would be busted, my eye would be black and blue, and my nose would be bleeding. And one day my stepfather says, "Hey, you want to do something about that?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And because I was sick and tired of being harassed and terrorized and beaten up. Didn't realize that I had to fight back, but I didn't know how. I did not know how to fight back. Nobody ever taught me how. And guess what? Anything you're ever going to learn, somebody's going to have to teach you. So long story short is I started studying the martial arts, started with judo, and then from judo I went to karate, and then on to Pai Te Lung Chun Sha Shi and Kung Fu, right? So I learned how to defend myself. Why? Because I was thrown into a battle I did not choose. Most of us are not going to choose our battles. Our battles are chosen for us. We can either opt in or opt out. Opting out is really not an option, because what that means is you're going to give in to the bully and you're going to let the bully do his thing. Well, what I found out was, once you face your bully, bullies are not that tough. They're only tough when they think they can get away with terrorizing you. But when they figure out that you're not the one that's going to let that happen anymore, they kind of disappear into the woodworks, right? Bullies are only bullying those who allow themselves to be bullied. And so if you learn how to defend yourself, that will change the game for you. Now, how do you do that? How do you learn how to defend yourself? Well, I would submit to you, learning the martial arts is probably a very good foundation, right? And so that's one of the things that I love about a lot of the Asian cultures is that's part of the curriculum for the individual's personal growth. They all have access to those types of studies, movement systems, defense systems, so that they can do what? Learn how to protect themselves, right? Because I'm telling you, you better learn how. And if you don't learn how, you're going to be a victim and you're going to be walking around with victim mentality. But as soon as you learn how to protect yourself, guess what? You usually don't have to do that anymore, because now you don't have that aura of fear walking around with you. Fear is what keeps most of us from doing the thing that we really should do, right? And moving forward, we're afraid. We're afraid of a lot of things. And I know a lot of us have phobias too. And we're afraid of heights. We're afraid of closed spaces. We're afraid of failure. We're afraid of a lot of things, right? Rejection. We're afraid because we haven't really found the warrior within yet. So I want to talk to you about how to find that warrior. The first thing is you've got to be okay with what? Disciplining yourself. To do what? To be okay with some pain. It takes pain in order to get the gain you choose. right? I don't care if you're a sports person, developing your muscles, your speed, your abilities to do whatever it is, sports that you want to do, it's usually painful. The process is painful, right? If you want to be a bodybuilder, to build those muscles, it takes some pain to build the muscles, right? And it's going to be a lot of pain over a lot of hours of labor to do what you're supposed to do there. If you want to be successful in business, there's pain, the pain of what? Failure. Failure is one of the best teachers. If you don't let it stop you, failure is one of your best teachers. It'll tell you all the things that you don't need to do anymore so that you can just focus on the things you need to do in order to have the success you want. With martial arts, we had to learn how to accept pain. That's how my karate teacher taught me. The first part of our session was me taking kicks into the stomach and the chest until I could not flinch. That I learned how to ki. I learned how to expand and allow the impact to not wipe me out psychologically or physiologically, right? And that's a lot of information that goes with that. But it was always about the pain. You had first of all, the pain of the fear of pain, right? There's a pain, and that's called the pain of the fear of pain. I had to get rid of the fear of pain first. And then once I started learning how to absorb the pain, right, and dissipate the pain, and then I learned how to avoid the pain, right? Because then you learn how to block, how to move, how to parry, how to move yourself in a position where you don't have to deal with the pain. And the higher levels in martial arts teaches you how to be not in that position to have to deal with pain, right? You can offer it, but you don't have to receive it. And so the first thing is what? Learning how to avoid pain. But you have to learn how to accept it first before you can learn how to avoid it. Now, what else do you have to learn how to do? After you learn how to do that, you have to learn how to give some pain, right? What? Because once you learn how to give it, you no longer have to give it. It's when you don't know how to give it is when it's always going to be required. I know it sounds like kind of controversial, but I'm telling you, once you learn how to dole it out, I remember the same people that were terrorizing me. When I studied long enough and hard enough, and I finally figured out how to give up some of that pain too, that same guy that terrorized me all the time, I dealt with him. And after I dealt with him and knocked his behind out, I never had to deal with him again. I'm trying to tell you now, that's how you do it. You learn how to give it, and then you don't really have to give it anymore. They left me alone. I never had to deal with them anymore. And the more I learned how to give it, the less I needed to be able to give it to other people, right? Because I no longer had to prove myself, and I didn't walk in fear anymore. And it's like a dog, a dog can smell fear, right? Then they smell that you're afraid of them, they get more aggressive, right? But if they find out that you're not afraid, they not so aggressive anymore. And everything kind of works on that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is learning how to become humble. How do you become humble? You become humble when you learn that you don't have the skill sets you need, and you allow yourself to go to someone else that can help you with that skill set, right? And you humble yourself and say, sir, ma'am, I'm here to allow you to take me. I'm an open vessel. Fill me up with the knowledge and wisdom I need so that I can become a better version of myself, so that I can protect myself in this world, so that I can have the desires of my heart come to pass. Help me figure that out. So then you need to become coachable. Coachable means that you are indeed in a position where someone can impart to you the information that will help you reach a higher level mastery of yourself. Once you focus on you, your world changes. Once you focus on becoming the better version of yourself, your world will change as well. So allowing yourself to be coachable is very important. But who's going to coach you? Well, when the student is ready, the what? The master will appear. The person who's mastered the art that you need to learn kind of just automatically shows up in your life. And that is really, really true. When you finally get to that place where you're open and you're willing to learn, and then you will do what you have been instructed, apply it, master it yourself, that's when teachers start to show up to help you get there. And lastly, is to become selfless. Why are you learning all these things? It's not just for yourself or to show off or to show how awesome you are. It's to be in a position to be of service to other people. You know, when I learned how to protect myself, the next thing I learned was how to protect others. And then I learned how to teach others how to protect themselves. And so once you're given the understanding, then you get to the place where you now have access to the warrior within. Inside of you, God has already placed the warrior, and you don't even know it, right? In the book of Ecclesiastes and all the other books, they talk about how you are in fact already chosen to be a warrior, right? To be a soldier in the army of the Lord, right? And the army of what? The army of those who want to do the right thing, who want to help other people accomplish their goals. You want to be a warrior because warriors walk in the favor of God, the right warriors, right? The righteous warrior. And I want you to be that person. How do you find that? You go inside, you make yourself available to your coach. The Holy Spirit will be the coach that will come, I promise you, and present you with access to the help you need to become who you need to be. And yes, I'm sorry, you have to be a warrior in order to fight a battle. You know, there are many battles that are going to come your way. You have to decide, are you going to be the victor or the victim? If you're going to be the victor, then you've got to sharpen your sword. You've got to learn how to use it. And the sword is the word that you send out before you. The word that's positive, the word that you cannot be defeated, and that you will be standing when the dust settles. When the dust of battle settles, you will be standing. And I know that, in my opinion, if you trust God and put him first, there is no battle you can't win. Because when he puts the badge of warrior on you, you've got all the skills you need to win in the game of life. And so today, I'm very excited that you have made a decision to help us bring this word into your life. Now, I'm going to give you something for you to remember and something for you to repeat throughout the week. It's an affirmation. And I want you to say this at least once a day for the next 7 days. I am worthy of advancement to become who you called me to be. I am worthy. I want you to focus on that part. I want you to say it and mean it, that I am worthy of advancement to become who you called me to be. And if you like that, I want you to comment below. I want you to smash the like button. I want you to subscribe. And I want you to come back and see me again next week. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. Let the warrior within be the warrior that comes to lead all those who need your help and need you to be who God called you to be. Talk to you soon.